I first met Roger 30 or 35 years ago when Irv Leopold was the medical director at Allergan, and I asked Irv to try and put together a group of a half a dozen of the leaders of the future. And Roger was one of those that he picked, and so we interfaced in that advisory role for a number of years. And I was certainly delighted when Jim Mazzo convinced him to come to UCI.
Okay, I've had the opportunity to know Roger Steinert for over 15 years. I've known him both personally and professionally. And when we met when he was in Boston, and I was actively trying to recruit him to come here to the Gavin Herbert Eye Institute and be the head of our new center in Irvine.
Roger and I have really had parallel careers. We both trained in cornea, doing fellowships, and then we both assumed responsibilities for academic programs. I took over the cornea service at the University of Minnesota, and Roger Steinert took over the cornea service at Mass Eye and Ear in the Harvard-affiliated program, and almost at exactly the same time. So we assumed similar responsibilities and started to train our own fellows and to train residents and to do research, and kind of ran side by side, if you will, for our whole career.
My introduction to Roger Steinert really goes back to my first introduction to ophthalmology in the mid-1980s.
I still had red hair, and Roger had hair. That's how long ago it was.
The first time I met Roger was when I joined Risen Optics as the CEO, and Roger was the medical director at the time. And that was in the spring of 2011. He took me on a tour of the facility, his facility at the University of Irvine, and actually he pointed off in the distance to a big dirt patch where he shared with me that that was going to be the state-of-the-art Gavin Herbert Eye Center. And it was a little bit hard to understand at that point, but several years later, obviously, it's turned out to be a spectacular facility.
I think Roger's leadership and tenacity as part of the Gavin Herbert Eye Institute project has been certainly well documented. But it's that kind of focus, that kind of tenacity, but coupled with his humility and gracefulness, I think is what separates Roger from a lot of his colleagues.
Roger is an extraordinary ophthalmologist, not a great ophthalmologist, he's beyond that. And what makes Roger special is that he has all the tools. He's a 5-tool ophthalmologist. He can do cataract, cornea, refractive, ocular surface, infectious disease, and be equally facile in every aspect of ophthalmology.
Well, I think certainly he's among the top dozen or so leaders in ophthalmic surgery. I think that's pretty well recognized, and he's come up with some amazing ideas.
Well, you know, one of the things that has always impressed me about Roger is he sees problems and tries to solve them. And so it's not, oh gosh, that's an issue that we have to avoid or go another direction. Let's solve that problem. And that, I think, is fundamental in innovating. And so he got very comfortable with technology early. He got comfortable, candidly, in working with industry. And we teamed up, not just Roger and I, of course, but he teamed up with many other colleagues in industry and brought new technology to solve real problems that he and his colleagues had identified.
But I think through the years, Roger's always been at the forefront of leading edge technology, both from a cataract as well as a refractive point of view.
Well, he's our leader. He's our champion. It wouldn't have happened without Roger.
You know, if you think about Roger Steinert on innovation, you would think immediately to the leader, the visionary around corneal transplants. But it goes way beyond that. Roger has been a leader in new innovations. I had the luxury of working with Roger also at AMO. When I was running AMO, he was our medical monitor there, and he was constantly in our offices talking about what we need tomorrow. So not only is he a leader because of this corneal transplant, but he has created categories because of his ability to know not what we need today, but what's going to be required tomorrow.
Well, the earliest research that I remember Roger doing that impressed me was his work in the laser field. And I think many people know that he's been involved in excimer laser research and that he's been involved in femtosecond laser research, but he also was involved in a lot of good research early on Yag lasers when we started to first incorporate those into our practice. And so, along with his good friend Carmen Pugliafito, they did some of the best research in the early days on the Yag laser as well. So he's had a lifelong interest in the application of lasers to the anterior segment. And it really began for most of us with the Yag laser and its applications in cataract surgery.
It's really an incredible contribution that he's made and continues to make in ophthalmology. And again, it's based really on his broad, deep clinical experience and knowledge, but also on his ability to just think incredibly logically on a problem and on what would deliver a clinical solution. And that's just such a valuable asset, not only to ophthalmology practice, but also to the ophthalmic industry.
It's a unique skill set to be able to be so good at what you do, but be able to translate that. Roger has that unique set. A lot of people are great surgeons, but they're not able to translate that surgical skill set. Roger Steinert has that ability. And since the Gavin Herbert Eye Institute is a teaching institution, we needed somebody not only to be a skilled surgeon, but to be able to translate that to the fine young men and women at the Gavin Herbert Eye Institute.
I do like to take credit for picking good people.
What makes Roger really special is that he only sees the upside in every opportunity, and he takes life a day at a time, and he does it with passion, and he does it with purpose. Roger's just an extraordinary person, and he's the kind of person that we can all admire at almost every different level.
He's a hardworking and dedicated guy, and he's so straightforward and so engaged and engaging that, you know, even more recently, as he's faced some health challenges, some of us might have stepped back and been less active and maybe less willing to be directly engaged. Not Roger.
Yeah, I think probably many people would have folded their tent given the circumstances, but not Roger.
We've been a few places together with our residents and fellows where they've gotten into interesting competitions in Las Vegas, for example. I don't know if I want to discuss those in detail, but he'll remember some of them.
I've seen him in a lot of fun situations. There's nothing better than a Roger Steinert with a big smile, a cigar, and a single malt scotch, because that's when he's happiest, especially talking about his Red Sox. I've seen him at baseball games when the Red Sox are losing, when they're winning, and he's screaming just like everybody else. But I still think of Roger Steinert in that smile. That contagious smile he has, no matter what environment, no matter what situation. And we all know he's gone through trials and tribulations, especially over the last couple of years. He's never, ever lost that desire, that passion, and that big Roger Steinert smile.
I'm sure even receiving this Lifetime Innovation Award is going to be one that he shuns and says, you know, I don't really deserve this, but that's the kind of person Roger Steinert is, and he's certainly very deserving of this type of acknowledgement.
You clearly are an innovator, someone that I've been proud to know, someone whose work I've appreciated and found useful in my own learnings. But more than that, you've been a lifelong friend and a very special friend and a resilient friend, and I couldn't be more proud to call you my friend and to be here today congratulating you on this great honor.
Roger, congratulations on receiving the OIS Innovator Award, so richly deserved.
Roger, in conclusion, congratulations on receiving your OIS Lifetime Innovator Award. And I have one last thing for you. Ready? Go Sox, Boston strong.
Again, congratulations, Roger. No one deserves it more on winning the OIS Lifetime Innovator Award.
Congratulations, Roger, on receiving this award. I certainly wish I was there to share it with you and maybe even wander down on Bourbon Street with you to have one of those famous drinks. Look forward to seeing you soon, Roger.
Roger, congratulations on receiving the OIS Lifetime Innovator Award. You are so deserving.
I don't think of you just as an innovator. I think of you as an architect. You are an architect that have built the ophthalmology world. Congratulations, Roger, and congratulations, April. You've been an unbelievable source behind Roger.